I just think Saudi as a whole are just targeting Muslim players. Now, I might be completely off the
Mm.
boil, but
Nah,
I'm just
makes
looking
sense.
at it and thinking, like,
Ziyech,
you've seen a lot of
Kante,
countries in the past. Go on, bro.
the Ziyech, Kante, you're right. Benzema, all these man.
Yeah, and it's like you've seen a lot of countries do this in the past. Like there was a period when China done it, when Japan done it with Iniesta. There was even a small period when Russia done it, where they were trying to bring in the big boy stars, this and that. With Saudi, I feel like Saudi, that it's a Middle Eastern country that has its own religious beliefs, its own cultures. You
Mm.
can't just go out and sign players left, right, and center, and the next thing you know, they can't adapt. Because let's be real, living in the Middle East is not the same as taking a flight to Spain.
Yep,
Like
it's
there are
not.
certain things that you have to live by. Like even when I remember Ronnie went there in his first week, there was so much backlash because they're like, "Yo, man is not married to his girl, so he
Mm.
can't buy a property, so he had to go live in like a private hotel."
Yeah,
I think what they're doing at the moment is target the Muslim players because they'll be able to adapt quicker than others. If they
sure.
can adapt and get comfortable, they'll perform. And the next thing you know, they become advocates of the whole idea of Saudi so they can sell it to people. But in
Yeah.
comparison, if somebody else went there and they struggle to adapt, like they're used to doing certain things on a Friday night that they can't do anymore, bro, if you were
Mm-hmm.
to ask them a year later, how was your Saudi experience? They'll be like, nah, it wasn't any good. I don't recommend you go there. So
Exactly,
that's
and that's
what
why
I'm
it's harder to get younger players, and that's why I don't think their project's sustainable, blood. Because if you're a young G, yeah, obviously, in order to blow up the league, you need players that are in their prime or coming into their prime in it and getting other people. But bro, if you're not married to your gal and you want to go out after football, and that Saudi ain't the place to be, bro. It's too restrictive, and because of that, this is why I don't think that long term they can ever be one of the top leagues because it's a desert, bro. You know what I mean? And there's too much restrictions on top of that, bro. It's just like there's too much.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's like the World Cup was only a few months ago. And bro, like you remember the backlash on BBC, Sky
Mm,
Sports from LGBT to the whole
yeah.
drinking, clubbing, this and that. And like I was saying it even at the time at the World Cup. Like at the end of the day, every country has its own culture, its own religious beliefs. When you go there, you're practically going as a guest in my eyes. Like you're going down for 1 month as a guest. Respect it and then come back and do your own thing. So in terms of is it sustainable? I think at the moment they'll reap a lot of rewards, especially with some of the big names that they're
100.
getting. But like I said yesterday on a stream on my channel, I was like, I feel like at the end of the day, some players it'll be one of the two. Do you want
Mm,
bread? Like, do you want bread? Like, for example, like I don't rate the whole Ruben Neves thing in the slightest
yeah.
of him going there in his prime. But if you want bread, go there.
Yeah.
If you aspire to be a Champions League winner, to play for the big teams in Europe, compete against the best, then I reckon you just stick around in Europe and try and work your way up. So it's one of the two, bread or a fancy career.
But the thing is, with Neves, the thing is, he could have gone there at 30 years old. That's what I don't
Mm,
like. You know the ones. He could have gone there at 30, 31, banged that league out for 4 years, and then retired of 4 years worth of money. To go now, that's you basically retiring, in it. Like I said the same thing to a certain degree when David Beckham went to America. He went so early, but then he ended up coming back to Italy. Do you know what I mean? And
mm,
like a lot of these men, like he went for the prestige, innit? Beckham went for the Hollywood thing. That's why he went to LA. Like he didn't go for footballing reasons, innit? And a lot of people didn't rate it. And then they were saying he shouldn't be picked for England and stuff like that. We're seeing a lot of Portuguese people say that he shouldn't get picked for Portugal now because he's effectively in a retirement league. Do you know what I mean? So,
mm.
bro, it's a weird one, bro. Me personally, yeah, that I'm taking the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. Like, bro, I'm taking the money, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm taking the money because the reason why I'm taking the money, yeah, is because a lot of people don't realize, yeah, that football, yeah, football's a job to these guys. A lot of these
Yeah.
guys either they grew up wanting to be footballers, or some of them didn't grow up wanting to be footballers. They grew up hoping to be footballers, but they had a plan B anyway. A lot of these foreign
Mm,
guys had a plan B. You know, like that. A lot of them have degrees in university because they're free for them. They're not free for us. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys have degrees anyway. They can go and do whatever they want to do. They probably thought, you know what, I want to be a footballer. Maybe I won't be. But
mm.
I mean, if you're working in an estate agent and someone's offering you 20% commission on sales and someone else is offering you 70% commission, you're going to the 70%. And that's how these men view football. You know, like that. A lot of them view it as football's a team game. So you're not guaranteed to win trophies anywhere, really. Do you know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like, you're not guaranteed. Like, the Galacticos didn't win what they should have won, bro. And that was a team that should have won everything. So there's never a guarantee, but there's a guarantee in the money you're gonna get. You understand?
mm,
So it's one of them ones where my man's probably looked at it and he said, you know what? Generational wealth or going somewhere and challenging. Because when you look at Neves don't walk into any of the top 4 teams, yeah. Like, and even so, City's the only team realistically that are winning the title unless something drastic happens. He's not going Man City.
mm.
So where's he going where he's gonna win trophies? Is he gonna go PSG? Probably not. Is he gonna go Bayern Munich? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? So when you start to look at it, wherever he was going, he weren't winning shit. So might as well get money.
I agree with that, but I think like even when you look at the players that they're targeting, it's like players that have practically got one more big contract in them. Yeah, like I was even discussing it yesterday, and I was like, I don't think they can get young up and coming players because those players, as much as I agree with you, which is look, the bread comes first because you can get an ACL injury and that's it, you're dusted. Like you can't even
Sure.
kick ball anymore, and you haven't even made bread. And trust me, in football, you'll get forgotten within a week. Like nobody's gonna care about the potential that you had. So of course it makes sense to think of your pockets here. I think like at the moment they're looking at man that are like for example Benzema. Like so many men were annoyed where they were like, bro, why is Benzema going? I
Yeah.
personally feel like Benzema still had a year in him in like the top league, but I was like, Benzema's completed ball. Like the Ballon d'Ors there, the Champions Leagues are there, the La Ligas, the Copa del Rey's, they're all there. And I'm what 36. I can go chillax and earn bread. But
Yeah.
with Neves, the reason why I don't rate it is because just a month ago, the guy came out and was like, listen, I aspire to play for a top European team. It's time for me to experience Champions League ball. He was twerking for Barca. Barca agreed personal terms with him. But of course, like with Barca, it was like, listen, like, hold up. We need to generate the funds because they were trying to go all out for Messi. And then, bro, out of nowhere, like you just see I think, what is it, Al Hilal he went to? I'm not too sure where he
I
went.
think so,
But
yeah.
it's like it didn't make sense only because I saw his interview and I was like, bro, like you were dying for a European team to play UCL ball, but now you've just gone for the bread. But I'll be real, bro. Like even if it was me, I'm taking the P's because the P's are fake. Like 200 M's a year, fam.
Bruv, listen, I don't care who you are. It's very difficult to turn that down, innit? Because especially if you're a player of Neves' ability, you
Mm,
know you're never gonna get that offer again, bro. Because it's not real. You know what I'm saying? That's not an offer that is linked to your ability. This is just an offer that they're offering everyone.
mm,
You know, like that. They're offering everyone 200 million. So it's like, let me get mine. You know, like that. That's what it is. It's not a thing where it's like, yo, I'm getting 200 million because I'm worth 200 million. Bro, he knows he's not worth that money. So he'd be dumb not to take it. Do you know what I'm saying? He'll be very, very dumb not to take it. So I understand what Saudi are doing. I don't see any longevity in it whatsoever. However, it's going to be exciting for like 2-3 years, isn't it? And then we'll see what happens after that because you know what it is, yeah. Like if it don't make money, it don't make sense. If they're bringing all these people over and they're not seeing a return on investment, it can't continue.
yeah, because I think what it is like at the moment, I'll be real. Like you bring in Ronnie, Ziyech, Kante, Koulibaly, this and that. Like at the moment, it's fun because let's be real. Like with all due respect to that league, who did they have before them, man? Like you can go and get. Like I even saw a report, funny enough, today, which said one of the clubs is trying to get Ozil out of retirement and give him a
Mm.
12-month deal.
Yeah,
And I
no,
was thinking,
another Muslim. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, but bro, imagine if right now me and you woke up tomorrow and we heard a report of like Man United trying to get a certain player out of retirement. We'll be like, nah, fam, it's done. Like it's
Yeah.
dusted. Like the player isn't what he once was.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, at the moment, just get any big name just for the sake of it. But of course, in 2-3 years' time, like man, them are gonna be like, yo, I'm not really trying to watch 35-year-old Kante. Like I want ballers. Like when I
Yeah.
tune into these games, I want to be entertained. At the moment, I'll be real. There's no entertainment in those games. It's just big names.
Yeah, 100%. It's only carrying Benzema that I'm looking at that might go there, yeah, and do a mad thing because Benzema still got something in his locker. You know the one, so he might go there do a mad thing. But other than that, it's exhibition stuff in it. Like it's like watching preseason friendlies, like almost like watching Masters football. These men are all past it, bro. Do you know what I mean? So Like I get it's exciting, but bro, it's still it's well away from what it needs to be for it to really have any impact in it. It's just them man
Mm,
throwing money at these players, really, in it. And because it's all happening in such um a close period, it's creating a lot of anticipation because everyone's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like every day you wake up, it's a next brother. Do you know what I mean? It's just all
mm,
coming. It's almost like they've all sat down, the league have sat down, or the government have sat down and said, we're going to invest X amount in football. And that's what I've heard they've done. They've
yeah,
said, you
that's
know
right.
what, we're going to slap 100 billion or something into just football in the league. And we're just going to bring players in. That's why this 200 millions little man money, because it's all being funded by the state. So
Mm.
everyone's just kind of just throwing the money in.
Yeah, no. And I think even for example, like this time next year, I don't think the same contracts will be getting dished out. Like you
No,
won't be hearing of Donny's getting 200 M's next year because
this is the initial one.
like I think at the moment they're just trying to do it just to stunt and just like at the moment
Mm,
they're desperate for anybody. But bro, I reckon in a year's time, them man will look at their finances and regardless of how much P's they've got, they're gonna be like, listen, like 200 M's per Donny for 1 year,
mm.
it doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, like from what I've read, is like the government invested P's into the league and they split the P's.
That's what they done, yeah.
They
Amongst the
split the
clubs.
teams to around the clubs. So it's like, bro, at the end of the day, if I'm a club owner and I'm thinking, all right, cool, I just gave 200 M's to my man, wouldn't I rather just split that and get
Mm,
5 man for the price of one? Because that's how I'm going to build a team. Because let's be
yeah,
real, like only Benzema fans are going to sit down and watch El Ittihad like
yeah.
on a 2 p.m. Saturday morning. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's facts.